Welcome. My name is Thomas. I'm here to share in this video a topic around I want to start my own business. Where do I start? And so, if you're the person who always wanted to have your own business, like I did growing up, but was too young to understand what that would look like, then I'm going to use myself as an example on how I got started with the business that I do today. And I'll do other videos on different aspects of starting a business and what that process looks like and what you need to embark on to make it happen for yourself. And so in this video, I'm going to use myself as an example of how I come to have a tax preparation service by simply back in 1995 taking an income tax course, loving what I did, liking preparing taxes for individuals, being decent at it, and building from there. And so in 1995, I saw then by working for Jackson Hewitt in that 1 year, that one season, that this here would be the career that would take care of me if I took care of it. Back then, I was not able to be honest with myself and realize that I had a drinking problem, so I wasn't able to pursue it. So I worked for Jackson Hewitt in '95, and then worked for them again until 2001. But during that time frame, building up to 2001, I still did taxes for family and friends. I just didn't do it for I was working for a company. And so when I got clean and sober in 1999 of June, 2001, I went back to the industry, took a refresher course for Jackson Hewitt, worked for them for 6 years, which allowed me to learn everything I need to learn to operate a full-fledged tax service. And from there, moved on to start my own tax service in my 6 year of working with Jackson Hewitt. Because by that time, I had the knowledge, the skills, the experience, the confidence, and I had my own business service set up just like Jackson Hewitt would have their business set up. I had the same credentials they had. So I was able to print checks. I was able to give prepaid cards out. I was able to do direct deposits. And so I had all the capabilities that a tax service had. I just wasn't promoting myself at the time because I was still working for Jackson Hewitt. But in my sixth season, I ended up working for another Jackson Hewitt because Jackson Hewitt is a franchise and you simply just buying the name. So different franchisee owners buy the name and uses it. And so I ended up working for a different Jackson Hewitt owner where I didn't get along with the manager. So I didn't make no money at all. I might have worked 2 weeks. And from there, I just started to let people know I had my own tax service. And by the way, I'm cheaper than Jackson Hewitt. And so in my first season, I generated $40,000 in 3 months, $5,000 in a day. And from there, there was no looking back. I had an IT guy who always wanted me to rent office space to do taxes in, but during that time, he didn't know what I knew. He didn't know that I knew that I wasn't ready yet on a few levels. One, I didn't have the knowledge, the skills, or the confidence in myself, or no clientele to start a tax service when he wanted me to, and so I had to prepare myself to do that. So after working for Jackson Hewitt for 6 years, I had positioned myself to have the knowledge, the skills, the confidence, some clientele, and actually had my credentials as a tax preparation service set up where I could do the same things Jackson Hewitt would do for people that now I could do it. And so I let people know in my sixth season that I had my own tax service because in my sixth season, I didn't get along with the manager. I might have worked 2 weeks, three at the most, didn't really get no hours. And from there, I just started promoting myself. And from there, I made $40,000 3 months, $5,000 in one day. And there was no looking back from that point. The following year, I ended up renting the space out of my IT guy, brick and mortar computer shop. And from there, I just started doing business. And so I did all my own research on what I need to do to have a tax service. Because, see, I was so excited to go out and do the research to do what I need to do to have my own tax service that I didn't have any fear of not getting it right. I didn't have any fear about not knowing what to do. I just followed the necessary steps on the research that I found back then on what I need to do to have a tax service, and I made it happen. So when it comes to, you might be the person that always wants to have your own business, and you might be the person that has an idea of what that business will be, but you just don't know what direction to go in, then I'm here to help you by using myself as a case study on the steps I took. The steps I took were simple. Back then, we started out with dial-up. I was always on the internet. And so I did the research on Google or Yahoo or whatever platform it was on how to start a tax service, and took that information that was given and carried it out to set up my information needed to be considered a tax service. And so back then, the process was a little simpler to get started with than it became to be later on. But now I'm working with people who want to start their own tax service, and I have a coaching program which allows them to work with me for 18 months. I help them fast track their success by removing all the guesswork, by helping them build a solid foundation for success, because now they don't have to guess what they have to do when it comes to the different steps and tasks needed to start a tax service. And so that's my specialty. That's my jam. That's what I help individuals do, is start their own tax preparation service from A to Z, from scratch, with no problem. And so if you're that person that wants to start a tax service, I can help you make that happen, because that's what I've been doing for years, is helping people start their own tax service. And so I can take you through that process. We can get that all done in 1 week. That's how simple it can be once you know what you know, what you know, what you know. And so when it comes to you to being a person that wants to start a business, and you are that person who knows what you want to do for a business, but you don't know what steps or direction to go concerning that business, then that's where the research has to come in. That's where you have to sit down and ask yourself, what will that business model be, and what would it look like for you? You might be the person like myself. I got started by simply taking an income tax course, fell in love with that course, worked for the company in that first season in 1995, and was shown that from that process and from that engagement, that this here career industry would take care of me if I took care of it by doing right by the industry. But the problem was, again, I had a drinking problem. I wasn't able to pursue that like I wanted, but I knew in my heart that once I got myself together, I would return to this career industry of tax preparation and taxation and move forward with starting that tax preparation business. And so I was able in 2001, after being clean for 2 years in 99 of June, to go back to the industry, take a refresher course, started working for Jackson Hewitt for 6 years, that positioned me to have my own tax service one day, because that's my goal, was to have my own business. So I worked with a purpose when I was working for Jackson Hewitt for 6 years, and my purpose was to learn everything I need to know to operate a tax service. I was blessed to be able to work for a company and learn everything I need to learn to start my own tax preparation service. So in my 6th season of working for that company, things just didn't jam and go the way I wanted to, and that gave me the opportunity to start promoting myself, to let people know I got my own tax service, and I'm cheaper than Jackson Hewitt. And I knew enough people who knew of me, who trust me enough to give me the business, where I earned $40,000 in 3 months, $5,000 in 1 day. And I have to tell you, my results are not typical, implied, or guaranteed. The average person getting started won't generate $40,000 in 3 months, let alone 12 months. And so I have to tell you that, because a lot of people sell you the hype on all this money you can make in this industry, and it's possible, but what's the chance of you doing that? What have you done to position yourself to be able to make that type of income? Like I said, for me, I just was in the right place at the right time, and knew enough people who knew of me well enough to give me the opportunity to prepare their individual income taxes back in 2001, where I generate that $40,000. And from there, I've been generating 5 and 6 figure income from this industry ever since. And it's not rocket science, it's not hard, but it's got to be something you want to do. Everyone cannot do what I do when it comes to preparing individual income taxes. They just can't. And so with me having a coaching program, which I started in 2020, just as the pandemic hit, I'm working with all different types of people. Majority of them are women who brand new to having a business in general, but wants to start their own tax preparation service. And so I asked them, what made you choose this field? What made you choose this career? And a lot of them just say it's just something I chose. And some people chose it based on a suggestion from someone else, and some people just wanted to start their own tax service because that was something they had already birthed in them uh, a long time ago. So when it comes to starting your own business and you don't know what direction to go in, then you have to sit down and first decide what business you want to start. Will it be home based? Will it be brick and mortar? Will it be service based? Will it be retail? For me, I did service based business and retail based business for years. 2001 was the first year I didn't do retail because I got sick in January. But other than that, I always did service based and retail business simultaneously one another. I had a brick and mortar business where I sold Avon throughout the year. I sold general merchandise throughout the year. And I had clients who will pull up and stop by during the spring and summer because I had my table outside showing them the different merchandise that I sold as far as Avon and as far as the general merchandise I sold for myself. And I had to let people know, hey, if you don't see the tables out here, you can stop, come in. Because for some reason they assume I just set up shop on somebody's corner and didn't realize that I was renting this corner spot when it came to my tax service and my retail business. And so for the person who wants to start a business and you're clueless on what direction to go in, but you know what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we generally go off in one of three areas. We either start a business in something we're already good at, or something we have skills and knowledge about, or something that we want to learn that eventually turns into a business. Like for me, I took a tax preparation course to work for a company, not knowing that this would be the business model that I would end up embarking on down the road. That might be your situation, where you might just be taking a course that you decide you like and you love it and you enjoy it, you're passionate about it, and you become good at it, and you decide, hey, maybe this is something I can turn into a business. Let me research it. Let me see. Let me run it by some people. Let me talk to some people. And so when it comes to what I do, is that with my coaching mentorship program, no one does what I do when it comes to my mentorship and coaching program. We have different people who tell you they can help you start your own tax preparation service, but they all got their own pitch. They got their own story. They got their own style. They got their own flow. They got their own curriculum. They got their own everything. But I'm the only one who, number one, has the majority of the time in this industry more than anyone else that's really out here promoting coaching and mentorship for individuals who looking to start their own business. And two, I'm the one who can definitely show you that I'm the real deal because my YouTube channel was set up for that primary purpose. I started my YouTube channel for two reasons. One, to show people that I'm credible on what I do when it comes to helping you start your own business in this industry. And two, allow me to build my brand and awareness out in the marketplace for people who gonna do their worst research on what it's gonna take to start their own tax preparation business. See, YouTube is a search engine. It's number 2 largest search engine in the world. Google's number 1. Google owns YouTube, and so that's another reason I chose YouTube. On top of the fact my mentor coach uses YouTube, and so it made sense for me to use YouTube and start doing videos to help build my brand, build awareness, and build exposure for what I do. Even though I wasn't comfortable doing videos, even though I wasn't comfortable being in front of the TV screen or the camera, because in general I'm a shy, quiet person, I had to not have that as a reason for not to do it. My goals and my dreams and my desire to do what I do was much bigger and more powerful, more stronger than my fear of being in front of a camera talking to people on what I do based on whatever it was. And so I couldn't use that as a reason. I got people I'm working with right now, they don't want to put themselves out there. They don't want to get online. They don't want to use social media. And I just simply tell them the consequences of not doing these things, you'll pay for it in the long run. You'll never out earn me when it comes to the money I make, because having an online presence will build your business much faster, much quicker, and much cheaper than you can ever do from a local strategy. There's only so many people you can go out and meet locally than you can ever do online. I can reach 400,000 people on any given day on any given social media platform. I can't go out into the local neighborhood and meet that volumes of people like that, because number one, I don't have the money or the resources to even rent a venue that's going to put me in front of that many people at one time that I can even afford. So it makes more sense for you to at least keep an open mind on be willing to come online and build your business with an online presence, as well as use local strategies. And so I use both. I use local strategies and I use online strategies, and those combinations help fast track my success. Those two combinations help build my business and my brand much more quick and much more fast and more efficient than I can ever get done without it. I made plenty of money many years for having a brick and mortar location in Chicago, but I never had an online presence because during that time, I just didn't have the mindset to even think about bringing my business online during that time, because it wasn't meant to be during that time. I believe everything happens for a reason, good, bad, or indifferent. And so when it comes to you starting a business, when it comes to you not being sure what direction to go in, uh, a lot of us, we can do the basics. We can go do the research using Google or Yahoo or Bing on what it's going to take to start a particular business. You're going to get some search results. You got to go through those search results. You got to check out that information. You got to look at it. You got to see for yourself, is this information the right information that's going to help me do what I need to do? And if it is, and if you believe it is, the next $64,000 question is, can you implement that information on your own successfully to help you get your business up and running by yourself? That's the question. Right now today, if I told you to go to irs.gov and set up an online account, could you do that by yourself? Could you do that without asking somebody for help? That's the question. Could you go fill out the EFIN application by yourself? The question is no, because the application is made in such a way that if you've never done one before, it's hard for you to fill it out on your own by yourself. 9 out of 10 people who fill out the application needs assistance from someone that works from IRS website. I didn't need that help. And so I go out and help people do all these things. And like I said, we can make all this happen in 1 week. I got women I'm working with in different states. I got people in Illinois. I got people in North Carolina. I got people in Louisiana. I got people in New York. I got people in several different states that's part of my coaching program. And so if you need help, if you need direction, you need someone that's going to help guide you to help you with starting your own business. And it doesn't have to be tax preparation. It can be whatever business you have an idea you want to start, but you just don't have the help and the direction to go in to help get that set up. Reach out to me. Hit me at 773-782-1320. I can help you make it happen. I can help fast track that success. And I can see you in my next video.